Hey, just thought I'd do a little video because I haven't done one for about a week. And yeah, so I've just been standard looking through the Daily Mail online, as I always do every day and every hour. And I was just reading about Professor Green. And you know what? I met him once, really tall, and but in a good way. Yeah, and I met him once when I was at work for a radio station, and he was so lovely. And you know, like, you see people in the press or pictures of people, and obviously he went through his divorce and stuff with the girl off of, what's it called, Millie McIntosh, off of Made in Chelsea. So you can't help but start to think, oh, what's he actually like and all this kind of stuff. But he was so polite and lovely when I met him. And then reading this article in the Daily Mail, it's basically starts with, I look and feel like shit. Babes, I totally feel you there. Like, I just love the fact that this whole article is just so, like, real. Do you know what I mean? Like, because so many people are so fake, and like they spend hours and hours like trying to get the best angles and pictures of themselves and put a ton of makeup on and all this kind of stuff, and never put a bad picture up. Like, so then you do, like you said, that it's like he discusses his not so perfect world, because at the moment with social media and everything, we're all in this real perfect world, aren't we, where every picture you look at, like, I'm terrible for it. I'll look at pictures and go, oh my God, and I say to my husband all the time and my mum and everyone, I'm like, I've put on weight, haven't I? And oh my God, look at her, she always looks amazing, and blah blah blah. But I don't believe that these girls go to the shop and stuff wearing full faces of makeup every day, like, or if they've forgotten something, or, you know, I don't know, like, I find it hard to believe, like, you don't go to bed in a full face of makeup and wake up looking like that. I wake up like this, and I'm like, you didn't though. Don't lie to people. You spent 3 hours doing this, or you probably took the photo last night and then just put it up, put some pajamas on and faked it, because that's what people do. Like, I prefer seeing real shit. And like, so this article basically said he put up an emotional Instagram post. He's had loads, like a few difficult moments, loads of problems, where he had a botched hernia operation, and I can just totally relate to him, because I had an operation, when was it, the start of last year, start of this year, I had a nose operation to help me breathe. The year before I had my appendix removed, and I just, ever since having my appendix removed, I never really got over it, and I put on a bit of weight, and because I said to my mum, like, I'm never going to starve myself again, I'm never going to like go without. If I see something that I want or I fancy a burger, I'm going to have it. And then I just never lost that little bit of weight. So yeah, I am carrying a bit more, but it's like, that's the real world. And you know what, it's hard when you have operations and stuff which put you out of action for a while. And he sounds like he's gone through a lot. Like, he's had pneumonia, all sorts, partially collapsed lung. So he's gone through hell. And the fact that he's like really been, it's weird. I suppose you could call it brave, because he's in the public eye and because there is this whole social media fake world. But I think it's just real. Like, I don't think people should be brave to do that. I think that that's just an admirable thing, and that everyone should be doing it, and everyone should be real, because then I think more of us would be able to understand, do you know what I mean? Instead of, I don't know, instead of like just seeing things and it's just so unrealistic and untouchable for a lot of people. Yeah, instead of having this perfect world. But yeah, so he's basically, let me go through it. Admitted he looked and felt like shit, and he addressed the dangers of showing an often unrealistic and perfect world on social media. And there's some pictures of him like showing his scar and stuff, which is really cool. Yeah, and the papers are saying in the pictures he's displaying his natural figure. Well, what? Like, natural figure? That just shows then all these, like, just not just all of us, but like papers and stuff edit, and there's magazines still ridiculously editing and making people, girls and boys and everyone, like, feel like they have to look a certain way. So I don't like the way they say displaying his natural figure. Just put with his shirt off or something. Like, I don't know, that's enough to make anyone feel conscious, do you know what I mean? It says, wanting to be honest with his fans, read all about Hitmaker, accompany the image with emotional post, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so he's saying it's rather than promoting an all too common perfect world, on social media, he's put like here's my before pic, but there's no after pic yet because it's the beginning of his journey. So, and I think, I don't know, like, I just think more people should embrace who they are, because what example are we setting for youngsters? Like, I'm 30 now, I can say that. I just think it's just really unrealistic. And I had a conversation with someone's daughter recently. She's only, what was she, 13? And she was listening to like a few of us having a bit of a chat about life and stuff. And she started asking questions. And then I was like, this is really interesting actually to speak to someone of that age, because I remember how I felt when I was 13. And she was asking things like, so what do I do when my friends start having alcohol and ask me if I want some? And when do I try my first cigarette? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's scary to think. And I was the same at that sort of age. Like, people when I was 13 were smoking behind the bike sheds and stuff. But it's scary when you're the adult and you're speaking to the child and having to think of the answers. And the best bit of advice I could give to her, I was like, look, honestly, I would stay in school. I would go to college if you can, just get as much out of your education. And I know, like, you hear that all the time. That's what I said to her. I was like, I'm not going to be that boring adult who's like, oh, stay in school. But coming from someone who's not been a boring adult, like, and who's lived quite a cool life and done loads and loads of stuff, the one thing though that I wish I could change and do is go back to school and, like, well, not now, but you know what I mean, like when I was 13, and like pay more attention and not skive off to go and see an older boyfriend and things when I was 15, and, you know, get great grades and do all of your exams instead of missing things, you know, because I don't know, like, it's just crazy to think, like, when you're a child all you're wanting to do is be an adult, but now being an adult, all I wish that I could, if I could go back and tell like 13-year-old Verity, I'd be like, just stay in school and don't worry that you don't fit in with everyone, because, you know, you're going to get some great friends and you probably won't even speak to the people still that you went to school with. So don't worry about all the crap that's going on now. Just look after yourself and do good for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've had to work hard my whole life because I'm constantly trying to prove myself and get places, because I didn't have amazing grades and all the rest of it, and I didn't go to university or stay in college. So yeah, I've always worked hard and I've been lucky. I've got to where I wanted to be and going where I want to go. But to kids that are, especially there was no such thing as social media when I was at school, so all kids should, I don't know, maybe they should I'd love to go into schools and just do a talk and be like, stay in school, you don't need to look at boys and girls and whoever until you're, like, I don't know, old. It took me till 30 to find the one. So yeah, boys were a distraction. But again, this is where it all kind of goes into one, doesn't it? It's like, goes back to the whole Professor Green thing. I'm so proud. I know I don't know him personally, but I'm proud that someone like him, with that kind of public figure, can be real and put real pictures up and show his scars and all the rest of it. I think more people should do that, because there's too many of these. Everyone thinks they're a model. There's too many people that are basically faking to everyone. Like, I don't disagree with wearing makeup. If you boys, girls, whoever want to wear makeup, that's absolutely fine. You know, I wear makeup, so I'd be a hypocrite for saying that. But what I'm trying to say is there should be more real things, like, right, this is me in the morning, like it or lump it. And maybe more of these people who are moaning that they're single but they have the perfect life on social media, they'd meet someone if they're a bit more real and a bit more relatable, and people would, like, guys or girls would look at them and be like, oh yeah, actually I fancy him or her, because that's what they look like naturally. I like them with makeup on and I like them without. And it's not all about looks, but it's just like, oh, that person's confident or comfortable in themselves, and instead of just, I don't know. And loads of kids are looking at these women, particularly, I'm sure there's men who do it as well, but particularly girls who have these, like, websites where men buy them things and that, and girls aspire to be like these people, and it's like, each to their own. But what happened to, what's wrong with wanting to do not a normal job, you know what I mean, like a 9 to 5 job, but then at the weekends you can do something fun, you can, you know, go out and doll yourself up, or you can still do modelling, but these models and TV, people on telly and stuff that make out that's their life and that's all they do, it's bollocks. I'm sorry, unless you're Cara Delevingne, it's not your life. So start being real, and I'm going to start doing videos and telling people more about stuff that I've done in the past, and to show that, you know, where I've got to now, there's a lot of blood, sweat and tears, and it's an emotional roller coaster. It's not all plain sailing, and it takes it out of you. And I just think it'll be good. I can't wait to start talking about it a bit more and giving people an insight who's interested as to what goes on. And like, it's like I say, it's not all glitz and glam. Like, I've been working radio for like the last 6-7 years now, and I was an air hostess, and I ran a hotel in France, like on a ski season. So I've done all these kind of things, but it wasn't easy to get these jobs and to get there. So yeah, I'm going to start sharing more of my stuff, and I just feel really inspired after seeing that. And I think, yeah, little clap from me anyway, to Professor Green, Pro Green, because I think that was a really cool thing for him to do, a cool move, and more people should do that.